Promising to be the most thrilling addition to Apple's strong outdoor-going wristwatch lineup, the Apple Watch Ultra 3 should be released later this year unless Apple shocks everyone. We expect the Ultra 3 to show along with a new Apple Watch Series 11 and an Apple Watch SE 3. But should you be considering upgrading as we near September? After all, the Apple Watch Ultra 2 is coming on for 2 years old. Last year's release was only a new colorway with no additional changes. What therefore can we expect from Ultra 3 of this year? What are some of the intriguing hypothesized aspects that would motivate you to jump? And what adjustments aren't coming, so that you may be content with your existing model? Here are 4 reasons to think about changing, as well as 2 justifications for passing. Given that the newer CPU was included into the Apple Watch Series 10 during its launch last year, the Apple Watch Ultra 2's processor now lags 1 generation behind. As such, a new processor in the Apple Watch Ultra 3 is guaranteed. Apple can't, after all, launch its greatest Apple Watch in 2025 without its best wristwatch chip. As such, we'd expect a new S11 System to appear this year, or at least the same chip featured in the Series 10. Though Apple is often tight-lipped on the details, these CPUs tend to be more efficient and quicker with each successive version. The headline Apple Watch Ultra 3 upgrade this year should be a blood pressure and hypertension monitoring gadget. According to the latest theories and leaks, this would behave similarly to Apple's sleep apnea feature, sensing elevated or abnormal data rather than presenting a specific report. So while this may not be a replacement for regular blood pressure monitoring, it's a big health gain that will make this year's model incredibly enticing. The Apple Watch series should shift to MediaTek modems for 2025, and one of the largest breakthroughs will be 5G. This will allegedly be reduced capability 5G, which might greatly increase cellular connectivity for the Apple Watch Ultra. When you're out and about trying to stream music, answer calls, or listen to podcasts without your iPhone to hand. All Apple Watch Ultra varieties come with cellular, so you don't even have to pay more for the privilege either, just the data plan costs. Another significant additional communications boost is likely to be satellite access. According to reports, the Apple Watch Ultra 3 will integrate satellite technology much like the greatest iPhones, allowing users to send off-the-grid text messages, even when they don't have any mobile connection. It's possible this functionality may be constrained to phoning emergency services, as it was initially on iPhone, or it might be fully fledged for sending messages, like the more sophisticated version we have on iPhone today. Apple is likely to add the more powerful OLED LCP03 display from the Apple Watch Series 10 to its Ultra 3 for the same reasons it would increase the CPU, primarily to assure the Ultra isn't eclipsed by the Series 11. To that end, we predict the display to be up to 40% brighter when viewed from an angle. The Apple Watch SE 3 is the only model scheduled receiving a redesign this year. While the Ultra and Ultra 2 each have distinctive appearances, they haven't changed since launch, and the Apple Watch Ultra 3 is likely to continue similar trend. As such, if you were going to upgrade for a new form factor, some glittering new buttons, or a larger display, this may come as a disappointment. If you acquired an Apple Watch Ultra or Ultra 2 in the last few years, you were probably expected to get a good few years out of your investment. We'd expect the Ultra 3 to keep the $799 price tag of its brothers, making it a large ask for all save the most serial upgraders. Don't expect an Apple Watch Ultra 3 price cut this year. Apple is still supposedly years away from unlocking the holy grail of wristwatch development, blood glucose monitoring. It'll likely arrive in future iterations, but there's little probability of it being included in the watch this year, meaning you've got a bit longer to wait if this is a feature you're waiting out for. If you're in the US, there's a danger the Ultra 3 might not provide blood oxygen monitoring. Apple is in the midst of a legal struggle with Masimo over the tech, and hasn't been permitted to include it in its Apple Watch Series 10 in the US. With no signs of the disagreement being handled, US customers are facing the risk of another year without the capability and a new batch of Apple Watch models in September that won't indicate its return. If your watch supports blood oxygen monitoring, it's one function you can possibly lose if you upgrade. Apple's ongoing push into health technology continues with the Ultra 3, which is claimed to include blood pressure monitoring for the first time. While this won't offer correct systolic or diastolic measurements like a medical cuff, it may discern trends signaling rising blood pressure over time and advise users accordingly, similar to how Apple handles atrial fibrillation diagnosis. Additionally, a new S10 CPU is set to power the Ultra 3. Beyond efficiency improvements, this chip is thought to deliver an improved sensor accuracy and decreased power use, which may extend battery life despite new functionality. While the basic strong style of the Apple Watch Ultra is believed to continue untouched, insiders estimate the Ultra 3 will sport a slightly larger 2.12-inch display, which is roughly 10% bigger than the current iteration. This would improve exposure for fitness data and maps, aligning with the Ultra's appeal to outdoor athletes and explorers. Earlier projections about micro-LED display technology, offering better brightness, efficiency, and smaller panels, have seemingly been postponed until at least 2026. So for now, users may assume the continuing of Apple's high-end OLED panels, possibly with tweaks to peak brightness and outdoor readability. One of the most exciting rumored additions to the Apple Watch Ultra 3 is the incorporation of 5G connectivity and satellite-based messaging. This dual achievement may greatly boost the Ultra's usability in regions where normal networks are weak or non-existent, ideal for hikers, adventurers, and those working in isolated settings. The implementation of satellite messaging, similar to the emergency SOS capability on prior iPhones, is said to allow users to send basic messages without cellular or Wi-Fi connection. Combined with greater 5G speed, this shift speaks to Apple's general desire to make the Watch Ultra a more autonomous communication tool, further lessening dependence on a paired iPhone. Given Apple has remained with virtually the same design during its first 10 years of wristwatch manufacturing, it would be surprised if the corporation was planning considerable modifications for the look of the Watch Ultra 3. However, there is one eyebrow-raising rumor about its appearance. According to the supply chain industry analysis group TrendForce, the next model will be even bigger than the Apple Watch Ultra 2 with its gigantic 1.93-inch touchscreen. The analysis, from December 2023, so a long time ago, indicates the Apple Watch Ultra 3 screen will rise nearly 10%, clocking in around 2.12 inches. The current model already feels enormous on the wrist. Our wearables expert Kate Kozuch speaks of the necessity to periodically take it off at night for a quality night's rest, so that sounds like a major move. But it's not evident at this time how much of that size increase can be done by decreasing the watch's bezels, or if Apple has imaginative techniques to lessen the weight. So it's wiser to retain an open mind for now. There's also a likelihood that the Ultra 3 may arrive with a reduced case size, analogous to the Series 10, which is 1 mm thinner than the Series 9 and several grams lighter. One of the oddest Apple Watch Ultra 3 rumors circulating around is the inclusion of an integrated camera near the watch's crown on the side of the gadget. This camera wouldn't be utilized for film creation, but rather for visual AI research, according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman. Apple is likely to preserve the $799 starting price for the Ultra 3, keeping it the flagship model for sturdy and high-performance wearables. The watch will likely be introduced alongside the iPhone 17, Apple Watch Series 11, and Apple Watch SE 3 at Apple's typical September address. Availability is anticipated to begin within 1 to 2 weeks after the announcement, with pre-orders maybe opening on the day of the presentation. For now, it appears like the Apple Watch Ultra 3 will be a good increase over the Apple Watch 2 with big additions to health functions and connectivity, even if the design doesn't change all that much. Keep in mind, however, that Apple Watch upgrades tend to be minor. For example, the jump from the Ultra to Ultra 2 wasn't anything to write home about. Will the Ultra 3 represent a bigger refinement of the series? Time will tell. Still, even if Apple Watch Ultra 2 owners may not feel the need to upgrade, there could be enough here to entice Apple Watch Ultra or standard Apple Watch Series 9 or 10 wearers to make the move. As for when we'll see it, there's been no solid leaks yet, but our best estimate is alongside the next edition of the iPhone during a debut event in Cupertino in September 2025. So that's all we know for now. We'll be sure to keep you updated as soon as we have more information. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.